Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and welcome to another charity week training about events. And as you know, uh, this is split into three. The first one, hopefully, you have seen already, supporting institution events. The second one has been about pre-annual dinner planning, and the third one is about actually running the annual dinner and what to think about on that day. So let's start, because running the annual dinner, it is important to understand that it is not just you or your team of the events who's running the annual dinner. It is not like our typical weddings where you see husband and wife stressed out trying to solve everything and trying to organize, and they're just on their own, completely stressed and burned out. This is not our annual dinners. Our annual dinners is we have a team. We have a strong team. We've got people allocated on that day. It could be up to, depending on how big your annual dinner will be, but uh, a minimum 5 people, up to 20 people, who everyone has an allocated role to do on that day, whether it's the timekeeper, whether it's the people who set the tables in the beginning, whether it's the people who make sure everything is cleared at the end. Make sure you have got people allocated on that day and they understand that they have to do their part. Motivated to them, speak with your regional reps, with your national directors to make sure that these people understand the responsibility on that day, and it's not just on your shoulders. You have a team, you have a strong team, and you will deliver it inshallah as such. So that means also that you make understand that, you know uh, we, if the I don't know, the annual dinner is started at 1 p.m. or 12 p.m. or whatever, and you decide to be there on 8 a.m. and start doing everything because this is how you planned. So make sure that people understand it's 8 a.m. It's not 8:10, 8:20, 8:30. It's 8 a.m. Give the people their responsibilities and also the time that they have to be there, and make sure that they can actually execute their role and responsibilities. Yeah, so don't play hug yourself. Understand that we have a big team, alhamdulillah, people around us who can help. Delegate, make sure that the right people have the right roles, and inshallah on that day it will be smoothly because everyone is just thinking about their roles and having communication. And on that day, obviously, when you before you begin, have a team huddle, make dua, start with dua, end with dua, and ensure that everyone understands what they are doing, and bismillah, and let's go. Which is then about the second thing, because um, obviously this is husband and wife, or brother and sister, actual brother and sister. But we have to make sure that this annual dinner is actually for our guests. So we need people who speak with our guests, who get to know our guests, who get to know the institution, who make sure to receive feedback on that day to understand what they're like, and already plant the seeds for the next year to make people motivate and indicate that, like, the annual dinner, it's not it's just the beginning of the next year. And if we don't speak to them, if we don't make them feel as they are our guests, if it's just us speaking to them on the stage and having fancy talks and everything, it doesn't feel like it. So make sure that the guest is appreciated, make sure they feel valued, make sure they see and they experience they're part of a wider community, so we can support and enforce basically the whole idea, and understanding the vision of charity, the unity that we want to inspire uh, for them in the next generation. Which leads us to the third point: is we need to have an atmosphere on the annual dinner that is recognizable. People, it should be something people don't want to leave. It should be something people want to stay there for the whole night and just have that feeling right there. They have to experience that feeling of unity. The whole program, the whole agenda should be about it, that people are proud and see left and right of them brothers and sisters who have put so much effort into it, and they see how much they can achieve, and they see how much there's still left to achieve together. So whatever we do, it's tiny bits, it's nothing too complicated, it's something simple that we want to do, is just have that atmosphere of alhamdulillah. It's so worth it to be here. It's so worth it to pray with my brothers and sisters here. It's so worth it to listen to whoever is speaking at this stage. It's so worth it to have been part of Charity Week. It's so worth it to keep part of Charity Week. So let's make sure that the atmosphere we're creating on our annual dinners with innovative ways, whether it is, alhamdulillah, the separating brothers and sisters with the balloons, so people see actually this beautiful way and how we deal with these, or other original stuff that how we incorporate our theme, and make sure that it is something recognizable, inshallah. Make sure that the atmosphere is something worth recognizing and willing. And when people share it, they actually have that subhanallah, that fear of missing out. It actually was true. So let's come together in this and understand that everyone has clear roles and training beforehand on what they do, that the right people have the right responsibilities. It is a big team, a massive team that should come together, not just a tiny group who have everything in place. Hulk. The second thing is, let's focus on guest experience. Let's make sure that everything we do on that day is for our guests, that we have practical touching points with our guests. We're speaking to them, we're valuing them and giving them the experience. And think about how you could do the atmosphere memorable. It could be tiny things like a gift or something, I don't know, specifically for them. Maybe even it's so many different things. You're the creative guys in here, and you know best for your countries, for your regions, for your culture, for your teams what could work the well. So try to be innovative. Try to speak with others and making this atmosphere special. And just think about maybe also for a moment what made you stick with Charity Week, and maybe it's the simple things that help us achieve this. Inshallah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put barakah in your planning and um, help you find those diamonds and jewels in that room and inspire them to change the world. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.